Good morning, everybody. We're having a great time here. Welcome to The Balancing Act. I'm Julie Moran.
Yes, it's only 1 in the morning. I woke up here for it.
Planning for your financial future. Well, that should not be put off until the future. It should happen sooner rather than later,
That's
right?
right.
All right. Luckily, we've got some great women in the studio today to help you get started right now.
And if you are hungry, because it is early, right about now, we have some quick and easy solutions for mealtime from brunch and beyond.
All right. The Balancing Act starts right now.
Few things in life impact us more than our personal finances. Failing to plan is planning to fail. And as our next two guests are about to share, it's never too late or too early to plan your financial security. Joining us today as we explore ways to empower women for greater hands-on involvement in household financial planning are Catherine Bono, President and CEO of Cetera Financial Institutions, a member firm of the Financial Services Institute, and Karina Diamond, Managing Director of SSNG Wealth Management. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Good morning, Olga.
Catherine, let me start with you, because this to me is a huge topic. I'm all about women being independent and not dependent on anyone. And I tell my kids that all the time, and my girls are always listening to me. Tell me what it is today that's driving women to take charge of their own financial planning.
Well, in fact, Olga, over 40% of all households, women are the primary breadwinner.
Really?
And in 25% of the situations for married couples, the woman actually earns more than the man. So at the end of the day, in 80% of all family situations, it is the woman that's ultimately going to wind up making the family decisions about the disposition of their wealth as they're outliving their husbands. The good news in all this is women are very open to receiving financial advice.
And Karina, as I listen to this, the one thing I can think of is, wow, we've come a long way from just my grandparents' time, which was just, 50 years ago.
Right, and women actually have very good instincts about managing money. They just don't usually have as much confidence.
Now, let me ask you this, Catherine. Are most women doing what's needed to begin proper financial planning?
Unfortunately, no.
Why not?
Well, it's not just women, though. 25% of all Americans have done nothing to prepare for their retirement. And women are concerned about creating a durable income, not outliving their wealth. And so they are just prime for receiving this kind of financial planning and advice.
So Karina, for those first critical steps, what should they do?
So women have found that working with an advisor greatly increases their chances for success. And there's really some very simple steps that they can start to take. For example, start saving.
Okay.
Get into that 401k or Roth IRA. Look at your debt. What do you own versus what do you owe? And have a plan to pay that off. Most importantly, women really need to get better at saying no. And we like to help everyone but ourselves.
Yes.
And what I try to tell women is that it's not selfish to pay yourself first and take care of your own financial needs before helping somebody else.
What great advice. Now, it makes sense to have an independent financial advisor. Is this something that we should do short term, year to year, long term? My guess is going to be long term.
Yeah, I think it's very much like an athlete working with her coach.
Okay.
So the most successful athletes have coaches on an ongoing basis. The most successful investors have an independent financial advisor who's helping them every step of the way as well. And by the way, it's also very affordable.
And now that I'm hearing the independent financial advisor, I got to bring in, she just brought in the coach. One trusts their coach. I would trust my coach. A lot of skepticism when it comes to the Wall Street bankers today. This, I'm assuming, would be a little bit more of that trust factor, that one-on-one commitment between two people.
Absolutely it is. And in fact, it's Main Street, not Wall Street. Independent advisors will often include their own name on the door of their firm. Or you can find independent advice in a local bank or credit union. So there's many venues, but the important thing is to reach out, engage with an advisor, as Karina shared.
Now, Catherine, I was reading here that you're a member of the Financial Services Institute. Why is this important?
The Financial Services Institute, or FSI as known, is critical for safeguarding access for low and middle income Americans to the markets. And healthy markets are dependent on all investors being involved. The FSI ensures that all individuals have access to good independent advice.
And perhaps, ladies, you can address this, because I hear a lot of times from people saying, I really want to do this, but I'm not wealthy. I don't have the money. I don't think you really have to be, right, Karina?
No. Independent advice is really for everybody of all income levels, so whether you're just starting out or whether you're already wealthy, because really the benefits of that advice and the basics are really very similar.
Catherine, your thoughts?
Absolutely. Independent advice gives you a wonderful framework to safeguard your future and your family's future.
We've really come a long way, I must say, and there's much to do and still much to learn, and this is a huge journey for women to take on, especially when they are either widowed, divorced, even married. I tell my children all the time, you need to be independent. Closing thoughts before we leave?
Independent financial advice gives you a wonderful framework, and with this framework, you can do great things.
Karina?
I would say remember that you're never too young or too old to start benefiting from financial advice. And there's actually a great resource, financialservices.org, that can help you take control today.
Financialservices.org. Thank you so much. I can always use a little help as well. Thank you, ladies. Really appreciate it. Come back again.
Thank you.
And for additional insight on money matters related to today's topic, visit us at thebalancingact.com or log on to Facebook.com/The Balancing Act fans. It's everyday gourmet time, and what better way to celebrate every day than with warm, wholesome food? Our series continues with the ever-popular ramen noodle, and today's menu looks excellent. What do you say? Shall we start with brunch?
Hey, it's brunch time. How about some Maruchan noodle bowls with our eggs?
Why not?
Okay.
Noodle bowls are not just for lunch or dinner, they actually go great with eggs. Using your flavor packets according to instructions, microwave your bowls for 3 minutes.
So, my dear, what would you like to do this evening?
You know what? I think I want to go to the movies tonight.
Movies?
While the bowls are in the microwave, scramble 2 eggs for each of you and cook a few strips of bacon. When the bowls are done, top each with 2 scrambled eggs, a little crumbled bacon, and your favorite herbs. Set a romantic mood with mimosas. Now, that's a new twist on egg drop soup.
Cheers.
Here's another anytime idea when you're hungry. Maruchan noodles make delicious macaroni salads, great for a camping trip or even a picnic. Now, depending on the size of your adventure, make 2 or more bowls of ramen noodles. Microwave according to directions. Pour the noodles into a portable container. Mix in some diced red pepper, snap peas, carrots, and celery. Add a few grape or cherry tomatoes. Stir in mayonnaise or your favorite salad dressing to taste. You can refrigerate your macaroni salad overnight or add it directly to your cooler. Prefer to keep your meal warm? Just put your favorite noodle recipes in thermal containers. Enjoy. Need a midnight snack? Mix your ramen noodles with bits of leftover turkey for a melatonin twist. Good night's sleep. Here you come. I wouldn't have thought of some of those. What great ideas for enjoying noodles anytime you're hungry. Now head to Maruchan.com for more delicious ideas on how to use ramen noodles. And you can find Maruchan ramen noodles in the soup aisle of your local supermarket. And don't forget to check out our website, thebalancingact.com.
Getting diagnosed with cancer is a scary experience, to say the least, but today we have tools for early testing that are saving more lives. Doctors can even predict treatment outcomes like never before. And here to explain is Dr. Francisco Velasquez from PAML. Welcome back, doctor. So great to have you back.
Pleasure to be here.
You know, I want to talk to you about so many things, but first I want you to remind our audience about PAML and what you're doing to improve laboratory testing.
Sure. So PAML, we're a healthcare solutions company with a focus in diagnostics. So we have all the clinical testing that is available for doctors and patients. But at the same time, we have a lot of consumer-guided or consumer-oriented options for screening, wellness, and also for disease.
So important. What are some of the advanced technologies available today in diagnosing cancer?
So when you look at the last 10 years or so, we have made significant advances in molecular, genetic, and genomic testing, which then allows us not only to specifically look at the individual and know which therapies are going to work, but also allows us to look at the individual's disease, not cancer in general, and know which drugs will actually work better with that tumor.
That's so important because really no cancer, all cancers aren't the same and you have to treat people differently, right?
Well, genomically, we're all slightly different, and that actually means that drugs that may work for you may not work for me. And since cancer is evolved from your own cells, those cells themselves have genetic material. So they actually behave slightly differently. So you need to know what the composition is of the individual as well as their disease, and that will tell you with a higher degree of probability which drugs are going to work better, which is a significant advance in cancer therapy.
Oh, that is so good to hear and so fascinating. And we want you to stay right here because we're going to talk more about that in the Balancing Act. We'll be right back. We're back, and I'm speaking with Dr. Francisco Velasquez from PAML. And Doctor, before the break, we were talking about how cancer treatments have become more personalized, and how is this improving the outcome for patients?
So let me tell you a little bit of a story to answer that. So when I started practicing medicine about 30 plus years ago in the Boston area, I was in my mid-20s, by the way, just disclaimer.
All right.
I used to take care of adult leukemia patients. At that point in time, which is not that far back, most of those patients died because of disease progression or complications. Fast forward to 2014, and most of those can be treated into remission, perhaps even cured, and if not, treated almost as a chronic condition as opposed to a death sentence, which it was in the late 80s.
That's amazing that you've come that far from the 80s till now and that you were able to see that and experience that. And I think that probably lends itself to your doctor knowing you and how important it is to have a primary care physician that knows you.
Well, we go through a lot of things in our life, health and otherwise, and it's always good to have a primary care provider who actually knows your total history, coordinates all of your activities, and ensures that you're participating in the appropriate screening programs for your age and gender. Because one of the reasons why we have managed to decrease the mortality of cancer is because we also have very good screening programs for some of the key cancer types like breast and prostate and colon.
Well, what are the steps that we can take to try to avoid cancer altogether?
Well, I think the single most important thing anybody could do that smokes is quit smoking. If you think about it, lung cancer is still the #1 type of cancer, not only in the US, but in the world. Wow. And according to some of the studies, we're going to see the incidence of cancer grow 15 to 70% by 2030, mainly because of smoking, if you continue doing that. So that's one thing that you can do. Number two, make sure that you participate in the screening programs that are appropriate for you. Cervical cancer screening for women, also breast exams and mammographies as indicated, PSA for men, et cetera, et cetera. So there are a number of screening programs that we all need to participate in. I think diet is very important. There is a strong correlation between diet and types of cancer around the world. So diets that are well balanced, have a lot of antioxidants, fruits, vegetables, and whole grains are actually very good for you. And as we all travel in this global economy, you have to be aware of the fact that there's still some environmental concerns in other parts of the world that we should try to avoid, such as asbestos, et cetera.
Got it. Doctor, talk to me a little bit about genomic testing and what it is in general.
So as a result of the Human Genome Project, we have been able to sequence the whole human genome. Now, we know that there are probably 2,000 to 3,000 different mutations, although we don't know what all of those mean. But we do know a significant number of them, particularly those associated with probability of cancer. So what that allows us to do is two things. First, we can determine if an individual may be at a greater risk, so we can intervene earlier. And we have seen that with prophylactic mastectomies, for example, for women. Second, as part of the pharmacogenomics application, which is based on your genomic composition, how do you treat this particular individual? We can tailor-make therapies for you. That is the so-called precision medicine or personalized medicine.
Right.
Oncologists like to call it precision medicine because they've always been very nice to their patients, and I grew up around them, so I can vouch for that. And then last but not least, applying tools like next-generation sequencing, which allows us to sequence thousands of parts of the genomic profile of a particular tumor. We can find mutations that will tell us, for this particular kind of lung cancer, these are the 3 drugs that will work best in this combination for this patient, which is something we can provide physicians and patients.
That is so amazing to me, the advancements that are being made right here and now before our eyes. Thank you so much for all this valuable information, Doctor. I really appreciate it.
Welcome, my pleasure.
All right, if you'd like additional information about genomic testing, there's a link at thebalancingact.com. And if you'd like additional information on oncology testing, there's a link at thebalancingact.com, or you can contact your healthcare provider directly.
All right, I think after that show, we're ready to start our day. Would you say?
Absolutely, but first, why don't you all, or y'all, check out our website, thebalancingact.com, for more information on all of today's topics.
I can't do that.
You or y'all, doesn't matter.
Sounds like a plan. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. And thanks for joining us. Don't forget always to
Find your balance. She's trying. So long, everybody.
Give me one more. Give me one more.
You, y'all, y'all.